Hi, my name is Elizabeth Short, and this is my project for my stress management class. And I've learned a lot from this class. And I learned that the best way to manage stress is to take care of yourself before it happens, before stress really gets the best of you. And the past couple of years, I've been going through a lot of stress myself. And after undergoing all these surgeries, don't mind Annie, that's my cat, she's helped me keep me sane. I know animal therapy is a big thing now. Campus is big on pause for stress relief, but there's more things you can do that this class has taught me that you can help cope with whatever you're going through without paying for the consequences in the end. I learned that there are two different types of stress, well, several different types of stress, but there's good stress and there's bad stress. There's eustress, which is good stress, and then there's neurostress. Good stress helps you keep with like your deadlines and getting things done that you need to get done. And bad stress is like things that are like going on with your family and your health, and like if you're going through like a divorce or if you're going through like a bad breakup, like what I kind of went through this summer. There are things that you can help cope with. Like there are several things that this class has taught me. Several of them have been breathing exercises and visualizing the air going in and out your nose and just going a flowing pattern. I've also learned that deep breathing with the lights dim and soft music playing in the background also helps with calming down stress as well. Also, I think what really worked with me a lot was the art therapy, where certain things would usually mean something else. Like a home would mean like family and friends, and I think what I drew for my project was a bunch of monsters and one little stick figure guy trying to conquer them all, which represented the cancer that I battled. I also learned that it's a really good idea to take care of yourself, and many Americans, the reason why that their health is so bad is because they don't take care of themselves. They hit the McDonald's drive-thru every morning and eating all these fatty foods. Or if you're like women like me, if you get upset over a boy, eating ice cream's not gonna make it any better. As much as they say it does, it doesn't. It just makes it worse on you. There are several ideas that this textbook gives you that I can't really look right now because the cat decided to, yeah. Anyway, there are several things that you can do to take care of yourself. Like, eat right and you exercise. I know it sounds like elementary school to you, but they were right. Like, I wish I listened to my teachers back then. And it helps, like, if you keep, like, all the good nutrients, helps your body maintain homeostasis. And if your body keeps maintaining homeostasis, then you'll have an easier time reacting to stress. And it'll be less hard on your body. For example, when the body gets stressed out over something or it gets scared, it goes into a fight or flight response. You either fight the response, or you either fight the stress, or you flee from the stress. As for me, I've had the unfortunate time of experiencing both in real life, and it's not pleasant. You get a lot of physical symptoms like nausea, sometimes you throw up, sometimes you get like your heart racing, which is all very normal during the fight or flight response. You can also, like, it's really important to understand your body too, in order to help conquer stress. Like, I've learned that there's like 4 different levels of consciousness, and that certain parts of your day and your dreams like are part of 4 levels of consciousness, and certain levels of consciousness help, I can't really remember what, but like, it's really important to just know how your brain works and know how your body works and use that to your advantage, and not like, you gotta treat your body like it's a diamond, like it's treasure, and you can't constantly just keep eating fast food and going home and watching Netflix every single night when you get stressed. I mean, everybody's job is stressful. Like, there's no doubt about it. I mean, nobody has an easy job out there. It's called work for a reason. But there's literally no excuse for how poor, other than like genetic mutations and pollution. Like, other than that, there's literally no excuse to be sick with the stress-related disease. And there are several of them. Another form that I use that's very popular in teens and that I used a lot when I was growing up is journal writing. Journal writing is very personal, and it helps a lot with your thoughts. However, there are some things in here that I didn't really realize until now, that I never thought that journal writing really helped me all too much, but that's because I was making some of the mistakes that this textbook talks about. For instance, this textbook recommends that you use like a nice journal. I used a notebook, and the reason why the textbook is saying to use a nice journal is because I'm apt to be more personal about what I'm writing about or what's on my mind. The textbook also recommends that you don't share any journal entries with anyone, like no one, not even your pet or your family member, best friend, boyfriend, therapist, nobody. It basically hinders yourself from, basically keeps you from getting everything out that what you need to get out, and it makes it less personal. There are several different types of journals that you can use, like dream journals, which is what you write about after you have like a weird dream. And then there's like unsent letters. I used to do that too. I would write like letter to my, like, I used to keep a journal of like letters to my future husband back in the day. I've also written a couple of poems. I've used to write, one of them actually ended up getting published in my calendar, and that helped me get over saying goodbye to a friend. At the time, I was like in 8th grade when I wrote it. Good poetry therapy is always really, really good. But the key thing with journal writing is you got to keep it private and you got to keep it very personal. You don't have to go out and buy like a $15 journal, but if you get like a nice one that you can get like a dollar store, it will be sufficient enough, is what I realize. And one of mine that I have right now is nuts. Well, here's one I got at Walmart for like nothing, and it's sufficient enough. And another form of relieving stress is spirituality. I'm religious myself, and I've always gotten a great comfort of being like in the presence of God. And whenever I felt sad, or if I felt really sick, or if I had a lot of physical pain from one of my surgeries, I've always looked through my Bible and just always talked to God, and then next thing I know that the pain is somewhat gone. And that was a lot. That was enough, definitely enough to keep me going throughout my day. And the hymns and singing definitely has helped a lot too. Singing to God and just giving Him all my burdens to Him really helps a lot. And that brings me to music therapy. You know, interesting thing about music therapy. When I had surgery the first time, it was 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, I was given like a keyboard, and after my surgery I taught myself a little bit of piano by book, and that helped a lot with the physical pain that I was going through, and a lot of the emotional pain as well. Like, all of my friends were back in school and I was stuck at home in the dead of winter and in so much pain and coping with a life-threatening illness. Like, it was a lot to take on, and music therapy has definitely brought me through a very hard time. And they're saying that studies show that music definitely helps the brain, and it helps people with their studying, and it helps people with their ability to complete, like, to do a really good job, like, on their homework and be able to absorb information. And another problem that I realized that I myself had that was a source of stress was managing my time and managing my money, which I never thought I've had enough of either. Like, I've always felt like I was running out of time, and I always felt like I was running out of money. But, however, in chapter 16 gives a lot of really, really good tips on how to manage your time and your money. And that's a lot of where today's American source comes from, is not enough time to do what they need to do and what they want to do, and not enough money to be able to pay for things that they want to do or things that they have to pay for. And you basically need to make a plan on how you want to balance your time and how you want to balance your money. And for instance, these are several tips to, like, financial freedom. Like, you make and you follow a budget, and you gotta stick to it. And live a sustainable lifestyle. Freeze your credit cards. I don't own a credit card personally, and I probably won't get one until my first full-time job, but if I do get a credit card, it will only be one. And it says that credit cards are nothing more than expensive loans. Every time you pull out a credit card, you are borrowing money and paying a higher interest rate, 13 to 23%. That's pretty significant. Get in the habit of going cold turkey with your credit cards. One suggestion is to cut up all but one card and stick the remaining cards in a glass of water, and then place them in a glass in the freezer. The tactic is to ensure that you will only use it for emergencies, which is a good idea. Keep a spending journal. I had a friend that had to do that for a class, and he said it helped him a lot with how he managed his money. And there's also several apps, like on a smartphone or for an iPad, that helps you keep track of what you're spending. And you could see each purchase as an investment. Like, do you really need this, or do you really, like, is this item really worth spending money for? And consolidate your debt. You basically have to ask yourself, do you have several credit card bills and other loans? Talk to your bank manager about consolidating your debt into one loan and pay it off as soon as possible, which is another option you can take. And you should also consider opening a 401k or a Roth IRA as soon as possible. And as it says here, like, as a college student, retirement may seem like a long way off, but it's right around the corner. Tuck a small amount into a retire plan each year, even if you think you cannot afford it, so that you can live a comfortable life in your golden years, which is The C word is definitely a genius when it comes to that. I never thought of that until now. Some things to do when you're actually in the store and you see, oh look, a new album is out, or like, oh look, that new iPhone case is out. Ask yourself, remove yourself from, first you gotta remove yourself from temptation. If you don't have the money to spend or waste, then don't hang around people who go shopping and spend lots of money, because this can become a trap. Also, before you go shopping, make a list of what you really need and maintain the willpower to buy what's only on your list, which is something I haven't thought of either, except for groceries. Ask why before you buy. Don't buy on impulse, which is easier said than done. I know, I'm a girl. Be cautious of your bargains. Clean your house, because sometimes it's one of the best incentives to curtail uncontrolled spending is realizing by taking stock of what you already have. Like, realize what you already have before you go out and you buy the same thing that you already had. And learn to say no to your kids, spouse, friends, and marketers. Like, don't let people, like, run you over by saying, like, no, like, I want this, and you gotta learn to say no and be firm about that. Other suggestions is adopt a healthy attitude towards money, and, like, think about what your relationship is with money, and make sound financial goals, and, ask yourself, do you intend on working the rest of your life, or do you have a retirement account? Can you see beyond your next paycheck? And do you want to take a yearly vacation? Like, ask yourself those little questions. They'll help you keep track of how much money that you need to save. And another suggestion is put your money to work for you. Like, even if you think you have no money to invest, you really do. It's actually, even if it's only like $100 a year. And the only person, the best financial office, like, advisor is best is you. And, but although having a financial advisor is good, but remember, advisors are making money off your money. So, you know what you need, you know what lifestyle you want to live, so your best financial advisor is you. Also, with time management, is prioritize. Like, that was one of my big issues when I was entering college. I did not know how to manage my time. Time management is defined as the prioritization, scheduling, and execution of daily responsibilities to a level of personal satisfaction. Effective time management does not mean you have more time. It means you make better use of the time that you have. And there are several different types of personality styles and behaviors, and if you can figure out like what personality type or behavior you are, it'll help you learn how you want to, how you should, what time management technique is best for you. For example, my personality type / behavior is more of a descriptive procrastinator. Is someone who takes a stab at a task but finds excuses to drift away from completion until the last minute. On the surface, it looks like progress is being made, but it's a deception. That's one of my biggest flaws is something like that. Like, I'll start homework, but then I'll take a nap, and then I won't start homework again until like 1 in the morning. It's really bad, but I've been getting better about it. And steps to initiate good time management techniques. These are good if these are all like based upon like what your personality type is. And for me, mine was the important versus urgent method. And it divides your responsibilities for the day or week into 4 boxes. And note that people tend to direct their energies towards box 4, not urgent, not important, because these responsibilities look quick, easy, and perhaps enjoyable. Coveying suggests that overriding attention should go to the box labeled 2, important but not urgent, because this will yield your highest results. Box 1, important and urgent, needs adequate time, but this is not where the majority of your attention should be placed, for it should only lead to a reactionary lifestyle. Coveying suggests that it's not time that needs to be managed, but ourselves that needs attention. That's very, very, very interesting. And quadrant 2 is the key to effective personal management. And I recently went to Staples and bought these wall sticker whiteboard things where it's labeled Monday, Tuesday, like 7 days of the week, and I write down what I have to do that day, and hopefully that will help me manage my 3 schedules and hopefully job interviews. Also, I've learned that it wouldn't be a bad idea to see like a massage therapist to help manage your stress, but only because they're professionals. They have studied the body. They know exactly what parts of the body that are highly affected by stress, and how to help heal them. That is something I should probably do. And muscle tension is like one of the biggest symptoms of stress, and massage is used to help break down that tension and have like that therapeutic touch, is what they're always talking about in here. So I think I covered basically all of what I got out of, oh, one more, communication. A lot of people's stress comes from communication, poor communication skills. I learned that if I'm talking to someone and they're on their phone, it's really kind of pointless to talk to them because their focus is on their phone, and they're only going to hear a little bit of what you say, and then you're going to have to repeat yourself. So usually when I see someone and I'm trying to talk to them and they're scrolling on their phone, I don't bother talking to them at all. And not only it's rude, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of the stress comes from miscommunication. And proper communication will definitely help prevent any more stress from happening. And I think the relationship that I'm in right now a lot of the stress has been poor communication, because he was always on his phone when I was trying to tell him something important, and I learned that it's basically pointless to talk to him while he's on his phone, because he's not going to hear anything I'm going to say, because he can't balance. It's a bad idea to multitask, because if you multitask, then your focus isn't as good as it should be, and the quality of when you're getting your things done, it won't be as great either. So that was one other thing I learned. Also, I learned to make sure that your mind, your body, and your soul are all balanced. And if they're all balanced, then your body will have a better time of maintaining homeostasis. And chapter 4 was a chapter that hit home on me. And it talks a lot about cancer and a lot of other diseases and how stress is related to them. And there is a table here where it lists a lot of diseases and that are a part of, that are stress related, such as migraines, hepatic ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, hypertension, coronary heart disease, asthma, infection or a virus, which I get a lot, allergies, AIDS, cancer, lupus, and arthritis are all stress related. And it says there's a term down here called psychosomatic, which is a term coined from Franz Alexander's term organ neurosis, is used to describe a host of physical illnesses or diseases caused by the mind and unresolved emotional issues. And that is how stress can literally make you physically sick. It's right there. So I think that is about does it. I've also visited, there's this website that I like to visit that helps me keep track of my own symptoms and what is recommended that I could do. And there's a lot of nutrition information. It's on webmd.com. And I can literally pinpoint on a body, like I pictured my age and my gender, and it helps me pinpoint on the body like what my symptoms are and what the possible diagnosis is, and I like that. And plus it gives a lot of like good like nutrition information too to help with stress. And also sleep is also very important when managing your stress too. Like if your body doesn't get enough sleep, then you're gonna have a poorer reaction to any stress that comes in your life. And me, of all people, know that in order to help manage your stress, you gotta do everything you can to help prevent it from happening in the first place. Because we all know everybody has problems in their life. Everybody is going through something. And there's always going to be stress. But you got to remember the key things is the difference between good stress. Is this good stress? Or is this bad stress? And if it's bad stress, then how do I cope? What is their best personal way? And there's so many different coping mechanisms, and it's literally like really inexcusable. Like, oh, I don't know how to manage my stress. Well, that's crap, because there's so many different things you can do. Like doodling is something I like to do when I'm stressed out. But if it's too late, if you're already feeling illnesses that result from stress, there are a lot of things you can do to make yourself more comfortable and to help prevent it from happening again. Like eating healthy and exercising. Getting the proper amount of sleep, and talking to someone helps too. And also, try to not multitask as best as possible, and try to keep your communication, like, be clear on what you want to say, and make sure that the other person understands what you're saying, and have them repeat back to what you say if you think they're unclear. And managing your time and your money. And if you can do those 8 things, then managing stress should be like a piece of cake. And I'm glad that I took this class because I've learned so much. And it definitely is going to help me a lot in the future. And I think that this class should like totally be required